Last year, we were seeing around a 2-month supply. Now it's a 2.4-month supply because the pace of sales is slower. So there are more options out there for people than there may have been. I mean, you look at total sales, but there's going to be less homes that sell this year. So it's a supply and demand sort of thing. And this is the message that knowledge brokers will be delivering. I mean, we're seeing anywhere from a 15 to 30% increase in supply, not total number of homes sold, because there was more buyers last year. Understanding how supply works and absorption rates are very important right now, because it still doesn't feel like there's a lot of homes for sale. We all know that. But when you realize, okay, well, I've got and it's up 15 to 30%, and maybe I've got to look at the home that's been on the market 10 days, 14 days, whatever that might be, there's some opportunity there. And that's pretty advanced for most agents to understand absorption rate and supply and what that all means. It's not that hard. You literally take the number of homes that sold the past month, divide it by the active inventory, and that's going to give you the supply. So you do a quick math equation: active inventory divided by pending sales, whatever the number comes out to, that's your month supply.
You shouldn't have to even run the number. Most MLSs have, like the Connecticut MLS, which is about to change over, I think, next month to something else. They're always changing every couple of years to hold some shred of value. But they have a feature, an app basically inside the MLS called InfoSparks. Okay. Yeah, a lot of the data is run through showing time, but anyways, this will give you charts and graphs on months of supply. I've seen similar, features in the Florida MLS. I don't know about Mass or I think you're on Bright,
Yep.
Tom, but most of the MLSs have this. And I know when I ask agents, hey, are you using InfoSparks? Are you taking a screenshot there and sending it to a client? Like, huh? InfoSparks? Like, click around the other tiles in the MLS. There's actually some really good usable data in there that's localized that you can use to your advantage. Months of supply for Connecticut in May was 2 months even. Last May was 2.1. And then we peaked out in July at 2.6 months of inventory. I'm curious if you're seeing a similar scenario where, the middle of the summer last year is where your peak was for months of supply. And do we expect that trend to continue this year, where June, July, and August are maybe the peak months of supply this year? Or do you think it might be quarter four? I got reason to believe that it could be early quarter four where we see the high point a little bit later than traditionally. But maybe you disagree with that.
Lisa disagreed.
We're actually, I disagree with that actually. And to answer your question, we're pretty much flat. June of, or this same time period last year, we were at 1.07 months of supply. Today we're at 1.16. So that's pretty much flat.
Yeah. Flat here too. Yeah.
I disagree about the early Q4. That would imply that we're looking at October-ish, maybe November.
Late September, October. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't see that. And I especially Connecticut, Massachusetts, I'm not so sure about Pennsylvania, but snow and winter weather factors in heavily into our stuff. Also for us, school systems are a big
holidays
driver. Yeah. So I don't know. I would disagree. I think it may go a little bit later. I think we might see inventory still increasing until late August, maybe early September. But I think that by the time we hit Labor Day, we're going to be trending back down heavily in inventory.
Yeah. I'm going to basically amend that. Late quarter three as opposed to early quarter four, because last year for Connecticut, it was basically end of quarter two. I think it's going to be a little bit later as people get a little bit more uneasy about the economy, maybe feel like they missed the market. They may be listing a little bit later this year. And by the time they decide to either, get it sold or pull it off the market might just be. So I'm going to amend that to late quarter three. That would be not early quarter four, as opposed to, middle of the year in July, like it was last year for us. Tom, what do you think?
Well, what I know is that I'm a big believer in charting how much business you put under contract every month of the year historically. And a lot of people have said, and I would agree with this, that the conditions this year have been more like 2021 than 2022, where it was really tough to get offers accepted. Inventory was light. obviously more demand, more homes, but inventory was light relative to the demand. And last year, what a lot of folks are saying was, I'm feeling the shift coming. And you could hear that like in April and in May. And no one has said that this year. And I would agree that demand has been pretty frothy. And when I looked at our 2021 numbers through the month of June versus our 2022 numbers, in 2021, we had 55% of our business booked for the year by June 30th. Typically, the target's around 60 that we shoot for. In 2022, that number was over 65%. It was 65.34. So my hope and hallucination here, and for all the agents listening, pay attention. There's an opportunity this summer and into that month of September and then maybe early October. And then that's when things kind of get a little crazy with school systems and all the stuff you're talking about. There's a window here to catch up for the business you didn't do earlier in the year, for the homes you didn't sell. And your goals probably dictate this for a lot of people, knowing the market's down